Well, it's a very warm welcome back to second half independent off-tube studio commentary. The game at Bloomfield Road has just kicked off for the second half. It is goalless between Blackpool and Burnley. And really, I think Blackpool will be quite pleased with how that first half went, because their goalkeeper, Chris Maxwell, only had to really make one-handed save. It was a great strike from Goodmanson heading into the top corner, which the goalkeeper palmed away from a corner. Other than that, there wasn't really too much from Burnley in front of goal. Plenty of build-up, plenty of possession for Vincent Kompany's side. But overall, I think Blackpool would say they dealt with that pressure fairly well, and it's just a case of them now being able to build on that in the second half, maybe try and nick an early goal, try and put a bit of pressure onto the Burnley side. But already inside the first 30 seconds, we can see Burnley getting back to business in terms of just keeping possession here in midfield. I'm Paul Szczerbakowicz, delighted to be with you for this second half. I'll just remind you of the two teams very quickly. For Blackpool, it is Chris Maxwell in goal, with a back four of Jordan Gabriel, Curtis Nelson, Jordan Thorniley and Dominic Thompson. The five in midfield are Josh Bowler, Callum Connolly, Kenny Dougal, Sonny Carey and Luke Garbutt, with Jerry Yates as the lone man up front. For Burnley, it is Arjenet Muric in goal, with a back four of Connor Roberts, Hjedmar Ekdal, Jordan Beyer and Vitinho. The two holding midfielders are Josh Cullen and Scott Twine, who comes on for the injured he did come on for the injured Josh Brownhill after around 25 minutes in the first half. The three ahead of them are Nathan Tella, Johan Berg Goodmanson and Anas Zarouri, with Ashley Barnes as the front man for Burnley. Long ball now played back towards Muric. Goalkeeper just rolls this out towards Beyer. There's a couple of Blackpool players pushing forward. They go over towards the right-hand side now for Twine. Inside to Cullen, being closed down here in midfield by Sonny Carey, but he spots Nathan Tella down the right-hand side, and Tella feeds a ball through. It's played back towards Tella. It's a great pass, and Tella into the 6-yard box. Oh, it's just a challenge just at the last moment there from Dominic Thompson, and that deflects the ball away for a corner kick. Looks like Nathan Tella just felt that a little bit, as well as he just grimaces behind the goal. In fact, almost ran into the advertising boards there, did Nathan Tella. But this is a lovely bit of link-up play between him and Twine, and as Tella gets into the box, it was a combination of Thompson and Nelson coming across to put that challenge in. It's Burnley's fourth corner of the game. They're first in the second half. It's taken short towards Goodmanson, now whipped in from that right-hand side. It headed towards goal. Oh, it drops just inside the 6-yard box. Missed completely there inside the 6-yard box by Vitinho. A second ball back over towards the right-hand side. Now it's outside the penalty area with Goodmanson finding Vitinho. That was a great chance for Vitinho. Just missed the ball just at the edge of the 6-yard box. Plays it back now on a strike. And the strike towards goal there from Zarouri started wide and then started angling away from goal even more. So that's away for a goal kick. But we'll see this again with the fact they're just showing us a replay of the effort from Zarouri, which we don't need to see again. What we do need to see is that miskicked effort from Vitinho after the corner kick, but it looks like we're not going to get a replay of that on this occasion. And it's just a goal kick now to be taken by Chris Maxwell. And early goal in the second half. It's a third goal for Borough, I should say, at the start of the second half. Chuba Akpom with his second of the afternoon. Borough lead against Reading now by 3-0. And no change in any of the other games that I can see so far. And the ball played over the top now. It won't quite get through towards Yates. It is out for a throw to Burnley now down the right-hand side. Roberts waiting to restart play here. Burnley aren't hanging around. They want to get this done as quickly as possible. As I say, with the sides just below the top two, fighting it out. Blackburn beating Sheffield United in the earlier game today, meaning that although Burnley still have a real comfortable cushion in the live table as it stands, it's actually Middlesbrough that have jumped into a third place as they lead against Reading. And even if Burnley were to only draw the game this afternoon, they would still be 17 points clear of third place Middlesbrough. So although mathematically there's still some work to do, in actual fact, Burnley could go through the rest of the season just picking up a few wins and a few draws, and they would still have a very comfortable lead against the sides trying to chase them. So, as I say, they can't take their foot off the gas, and that's certainly not something that Vincent Kompany would be allowing his players to do. But at the same time, there's still a lot of work for any side to get anywhere near Burnley, really, and Blackpool now trying to build some sort of possession, but again, it's just a loose ball there. Dougal couldn't quite keep it in play, and it's Vitinho that restarts play here for Burnley with a throw going back towards Jordan Beyer. Muric now is out from his goal. Over towards Scott Twine on the right-hand side. Twine looking up and then just deciding to play a ball back into midfield here for Cullen. Square towards Bayer. He's over the halfway line now. Blackpool trying to play a high offside here, but in doing that, Thompson has completely forgotten about Tella on the right-hand side. And that's where the ball has gone. Tella's at the edge of the area, looks up and tees one up here for Cullen, whose effort is over the bar. It's not a bad idea, really, to set up Josh Cullen there. Thompson had just got in a little bit too close to his centre-backs, and then when all of a sudden that ball was played over to Nathan Tella, Thompson was nowhere near him. Tella had all that space on the right-hand side, set it up for Josh Cullen, but his effort hits it first time and lifts it a long way over the bar. So it's a goal kick now to Blackpool. 51 minutes gone. Unofficial, independent, off-tube studio commentary from the game at Bloomfield Road, where it is Blackpool 0, Burnley 0. I'm just getting word that there has been a goal at Stamford Bridge in the game between Chelsea and Leeds. I'll just confirm that in a moment. But in the meantime, Blackpool are getting forward here now with Jerry Yates. He's getting towards the edge of the area, but it's just a combination of Twine and Roberts making it too difficult there. Yates can't get past the two of them. And the ball now back in Burnley possession. Rolled back to Muric. You can't take too long. He was being closed down there by Dougal. And Cullen is closing down on Jordan Bayer there as well. And in the end, that's been given as a free kick against Josh Bowler. So a couple of goals going in the Premier League in a very short space of time. Brighton now lead 2-0 against West Ham. Just waiting for confirmation of that second goal scorer. And Chelsea now do lead against Leeds United. And it's Wesley Fofana that puts Chelsea in front. That could be a huge goal. It looks like it's a goal from a corner there. Fofana heading in Ben Chilwell's cross. So that could be a huge goal for both teams. I mean, Chelsea, if they were to lose to Leeds today, you would imagine that Potter would be in real trouble. But in the meantime, here come Burnley now with a ball down the left-hand side. It's just a little bit too much on there for Zaruri. He was chasing that all the way to the line, but he couldn't keep it in play. It's out for a goal kick to Blackpool. Meanwhile, Middlesbrough running riot against Reading, and it's a hat-trick for Chuba Akpom. Scored from the penalty spot on 24 minutes. Then Aaron Ramsey made it 2-0 for Borough just before half-time, but now goals on 48 and 51 minutes here from Chuba Akpom. And Borough, well, they've won the game against Reading this afternoon, and Chuba Akpom's already got the match ball, and he's still got over half an hour to try and add to that total as well. Long clearance now from Chris Maxwell. Up towards the halfway line, headed on. Yates is chasing that one. The loose ball drops here to Carey. Carey then trying to find a ball back towards Luke Garber. It's been cleared away, and that's a poor ball from Jordan Gabriel. He had space and time to pick out Josh Bowler there, but the ball is in the end one back, and it is Burnley in possession. So just to run you through the scores, this is the only goalless game. In fact, no, I take it back. Watford against Preston is also goalless at Vicarage Road. But all the other games in the Championship have seen a goal. I was going to do a rundown of the scores, but Burnley are on the attack now. A pass into the box from Twine, though, isn't going to reach Tella or Ashley Barnes. So it is 0-0 here at Bloomfield Road between Blackpool and Burnley. It's Huddersfield 0, Coventry City 1, Luton 1, Swansea City 0, Middlesbrough 4, Reading 0, Millwall 1, Norwich 1, Rotherham 1, QPR 0, Sunderland 0, Stoke 1. Goalless between Watford and Preston, and it is still at the scoreline that we saw very early on in the first half. Hasn't changed that. The DW, where Wigan are still trailing by a goal to nil against Birmingham City. In the Premier League, it is still Arsenal 0, Bournemouth 1, Villa 1, Palace 0, Brighton 2, West Ham 0, Chelsea 1, Leeds 0, and it is still goalless between the Wolves and Spurs. The second goal for Brighton, by the way, was Joel Veltman goal. Collector's item there. Veltman doesn't get too many goals. But back to Bloomfield Park here now. It is Bloomfield Road, I should say. It is Blackpool trying to push forward here down the right-hand side, but Yates is stopped before he gets towards the penalty area. Back with Nathan Tella now for Burnley. Leaves the ball for Jordan Bayer. The visitors once again in slow and steady possession here in midfield, pushing forward now down the right-hand side. Once again, Blackpool playing a high offside. They're just trying to condense and congest that middle of the park here for Burnley, not to make it too easy for them to expand. And Ashley Barnes, they're having to drop very deep. I mean, Burnley were in possession with their defenders on the halfway line, and we saw Ashley Barnes having to drop almost to the edge of the centre circle there just to get a touch of the ball. But now they try down the right-hand side with Nathan Tella. He got the pass from Connor Roberts. Tella holds it up and leaves the ball here for Roberts. And then he rolls it towards the right-hand side here. Support from Scott Twine, but again, no option to get that ball in the box. And then Tella and Ashley Barnes just... cross purposes there, and eventually the ball gets in between the two of them and goes out for a goal kick. And it looks as though in trying to win that ball back there, Ashley Barnes has just collided with Dominic Thompson. In fact, it might have been, well, it's actually Tella that glances past Dominic Thompson there, but I didn't really see how Thompson would have been in the pain that he was in. He looked like he'd been really shoved from the back there. It didn't seem like there was that much contact between him and Tella. But again, I mean, it wasn't looking to try and win a free kick or anything like that. The ball had gone out for a goal kick anyway, and Thompson knew that, so I don't think he was trying to exaggerate. I think he must have just felt that one. Getting word of a second goal in the game between Huddersfield and Coventry. Looks like it's a second goal for the Sky Blues. So it's not been a good start so far for Neil Warnock at Huddersfield Town. It's a throw on to Blackpool now down the left-hand side. It's inside the Burnley half, but still a long way away from the Burnley penalty area. It's Dominic Thompson waiting to restart play. Long throw down the left-hand side. Looking for Yates, who takes it down. It goes for goal as well. His shot is charged down. Drops at the edge of the area, and a strike coming in. It was a really powerful effort as well. But charged down, it was Connolly with the strike. They're actually queuing up at the edge of the area there for Blackpool. But here come Burnley now with Scott Twine down the right-hand side. Leaves the ball here for Connor Roberts. In towards Josh Cullen. Back over towards the right-hand side. And Burnley creeping into the Blackpool half. But once again, that back line of Gabriel, Nelson, Thorniley and Thompson playing as high as they can here just to make it difficult for Burnley to work any space. It's played back towards Ekdal now. Spots Tella with plenty of space down the right-hand side. He takes on his man Thompson, drops his shoulder, gets away from Thompson, and then he looks up and lays the ball back towards Scott Twine. Twine leaves it here for Josh Cullen. Again, Burnley just delaying, perhaps putting that cross into the box until finally Tella drills one low. It's headed up in the air by Thorniley, and then he was fouled as he tried to go after the second ball. And that has been given as a free kick to Blackpool now inside their own box. Good work there from Jordan Thorniley to make sure that's well, he sort of used his thigh to stop the first ball going up in the air. And then as he jumps, I mean, that's not too much. Scott Twine hasn't done too much wrong there, really. He just dared to be in the same sort of square yard as Thorniley was, and Thorniley fell into Twine as he was jumping for the ball and won his side a free kick. But certainly Jordan Thorniley won't mind. He would argue that throughout his career, the amount of times that forwards have done that to him, it's only fair that he could occasionally do that back to an opposing player. As we have a second goal at the Emirates Stadium, and it's not an equaliser for Arsenal. It's Marcos Senesi, Argentine centre-back, that has made it 2-0 to Bournemouth. Unbelievable scoreline there with the league leaders in the Premier League now 2 down at home to Bournemouth. And that certainly mixes things up at the bottom of the Premier League as well in terms of Everton not playing till later, Leeds losing, West Ham losing, Bournemouth winning now, of course. It puts Everton rock bottom of the league. It keeps Southampton bottom of the league. Everton are now in 19th. Leeds are now in 18th. West Ham just a point ahead of them. But that win for Bournemouth really does shake things up. And also with Arsenal and Man City now having the same amount of games played, if things stay as they are, it means that Arsenal's lead against Manchester City will only be 2 points. So things are certainly getting very, very interesting in that fight for the title and for survival in the Premier League. And the Championship, just looking across, no goals. In fact, there has been a goal at the Stadium of Light. It's now Sunderland 0, Stoke City 2. And it's Tyrese Campbell that's made it 2-0 to Stoke City in that game. So it's looking like a very happy return for Alex Neil to the Stadium of Light. Obviously not a happy return as far as the Sunderland fans would be concerned. They would be absolutely fuming about their former manager, who they felt deserted them to go to Stoke. Now coming back and getting potentially 3 points as Blackpool win themselves a free kick. Interesting stat. It's after about 25 minutes in the first half, Blackpool had committed 4 fouls and Burnley hadn't committed a single one. It's now 8-7 to Blackpool in terms of the fouls committed. Still isn't bad. 15 fouls between them after an hour of play is pretty good, I would argue, but it just shows that Burnley are having to get a little bit more physical here as well, because it's just the game isn't just quite going as they'd like, as Chris Maxwell tries to pick out his teammate Josh Bowler with a long ball down the right-hand side. It's way over the head of Josh Bowler, though, out for a throw to Burnley. They're back in possession. A third goal between Huddersfield and Coventry, but it's not a way back for Huddersfield, unfortunately, for there. It's actually a third goal here for Coventry. Gia Kedesh scored for Coventry in the first half. Hamer made it 2-0. And it is now 3-0, just waiting for a confirmation. It's Gia Kedesh with his second of the afternoon. He's having a fantastic season. And his goals largely are in fact getting Coventry into the slightly more comfortable position in the league that they find themselves in now. Here come Burnley down the right with Nathan Tella. Inside towards Josh Cullen. Cullen tries to feed a pass into Ashley Barnes. It's cleared away. Blackpool now with a chance to go on the counter-attack. Gets held up well there in midfield by Luke Garber. Goes back towards Jordan Thorniley. Now Curtis Nelson doesn't take any chances. He plays the ball back towards keeper Chris Maxwell. Cleared up towards the halfway line. Taken down, and here come Burnley now with Tella trying to go through the gears, really using his pace, but there was a head start there for Curtis Nelson. He was always closer to the ball, and he backed himself to get there before he would have to foul his opponent, and he does so. Puts it out for a throw to Burnley now down the right-hand side, level with the edge of the penalty area. As we can see, is there going to be a change here? It looks like there is. I think that Anas Zarouri is going to be replaced here, and he's to be replaced by Michael Obafemi. It's not a bad luxury to have, really. Quick, pacey, skillful forward like Michael Obafemi sat on your bench in the Championship. Obafemi, the Southampton loanee, is on the field now. It's a long throw here from Connor Roberts, cut out just at the edge of the box there by Dominic Thompson. The throw was intended for Scott Twine. It's out for a corner kick to Burnley on the right-hand side. Wigan Athletic have equalised at home to Birmingham. That's a big, big goal for Wigan as they want to carry on their fight to try and avoid relegation. They find themselves rock bottom of the league. In fact, that draw now would send them a point above Huddersfield. It will be Huddersfield Town to be bottom of the league by the end of this evening if scores stay as they are. Corner kick to Burnley, whipped in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Both sets of players put their hands up to say it's our ball, but after the corner was headed out, the referee goes with the version that it should be a corner kick here to Burnley. Another corner kick. Meanwhile, in the Premier League, Palace are down to 10 men away at Aston Villa. There's still a goal down after that Anderson own goal on 27 minutes, but now Czech Dukor has picked up 2 yellow cards on 57 and 63 minutes to make it to put Palace down to 10 men. There's still a goal down in that game as well. Arsenal have got themselves an equaliser a goal back in the game against Bournemouth. It's Arsenal 1, Bournemouth 2. Meanwhile, the corner kick for Burnley is whipped in, and Nelson puts the challenge in, and he actually deflects that ball off the Burnley man and out for a goal kick. But Burnley aren't happy here. They feel as though there may have been... in fact, no, they're not appealing a foul here, Burnley. What's happened is, as Curtis Nelson has slid in to try and put this ball out, he's actually managed to catch that. The ball's hit the Burnley man right in the midriff there, and it looks like it's taken the wind out of Hjalmar Ekdal's sails. Swedish defender just down on his haunches, just off the pitch as well. As I say, it's not really in Burnley's interest to have a long injury break here. They'll probably want to play on. They want to play on without him, but they're going to have to play on without him, I think, now anyway, because referee is saying for play to be restarted. Ekdal really took that one badly. Mick McCarthy just having a quick word there with Kenny Dougal as well. Potentially just trying to give his midfielders a little bit of perhaps just a little bit of a clue as to how to try and cope with the fact that Burnley are just doing what they were doing in the first half. Blackpool are soaking it up very well, but there's not too much of an outlet for Blackpool. They're pretty much just accepted the fact that they're going to have less possession, or a lot less possession. It's throughout the game, it's actually 78% to 22, and 75% to 25% in terms of the second half. So it's marginal, but it's pretty much Same really, isn't it, in terms of the possession advantage that Burnley have had throughout the game. We are back underway. Long clearance from Chris Maxwell sails straight out for a throw. Burnley back in possession. And Ekdal, is he back on the field? No, he is back on the field, so everything's fine with him. I suppose you'll be glad that that ball caught him in the sort of abdominal area, because, I mean, he was in enough pain as it was. If that had caught him any lower, he would have really been in trouble. But Burnley now in possession here on the halfway line. Twine pushing forward, finding Barnes with the long ball. Twine back over towards Tella. His cross is charged down by Dominic Thompson. He's had a very, very busy afternoon, has Dominic Thompson, trying to cope with Nathan Tella and Connor Roberts down the right-hand side. And by and large, you've got to say that Thompson has coped with it very well. Blackpool now just sitting back here inside their own half as Burnley back in possession on the halfway line here with Ekdal. Over towards his defensive partner, Jordan Bayer. Bayer trying a very ambitious pass to play in Michael Obafemi. Just wasn't enough space really. I mean, Obafemi's a very, very quick player, so you give him a ball to chase down the channel, he will chase it, but you need to give him enough space for that ball to still be in play, and there just wasn't enough room on that left-hand side, and the ball is out for a goal kick. Camera just focusing on Jordan Bayer there. He's moving around comfortably. I don't really see why there would be an issue with him. It was Ekdal that was the one who felt the pain in that challenge from Kurt. In fact, it wasn't Nelson. It was actually the ball that deflected off Nelson as a ball is played over the top here now when it was chased by Bowler. It's then flicked up in the air as Kenny Dougal went after it, but there was nobody in a Blackpool shirt close enough to chase that one into the box. So Muric now makes an easy save and rolls this out as Burnley back in possession now inside their own half. 67 minutes gone. Unofficial independent off-tube studio commentary. Blackpool 0, Burnley 0. And goals going in elsewhere. Stoke were 3 up after 2 goals from Tyrese Campbell. But now Sunderland do have a goal back. They're 3-1 down now on Sunderland. That's home in that game. I did see another goal going in as well. It's now Millwall 1, Norwich 3. Millwall led in that game against Norwich, but Sorensen, an own goal from Bradshaw. And now a third goal. We're still waiting for confirmation of that third goal scorer. Has made it 3-1 to Norwich City as they look to try and just get their playoff campaign back on track. I mean, it's still very tight at the top of the Championship, isn't it? We're certainly between sort of 6th and 11th place. I mean, at one point it seemed like anybody down to about 16th or 17th was still in the playoff race. It's starting to just fan out a little bit now, but Burnley on the attack now with Tella down the right-hand side. He couldn't get a shot away, goes back to Goodmanson. Goodmanson going to get a shot away either, so it's Cullen who tries to whip a ball in towards Ashley Barnes. Ball straight into the hands of Chris Maxwell, who doesn't waste any time at all, clears it long, and maybe that was the wrong option because the Blackpool players have barely had time to leave their own penalty area, and Burnley are straight away back into possession. And the visitors once again just looking to try and build from the back. It's with Josh Cullen. Connor Roberts now to Nathan Tella. Tella just inside now towards Ekdal. Pressing there from Yates as well as Carey. But now it's a ball over the top here from Ekdal. He was looking for the run of Goodmanson. It was the right idea, but it's also a very comfortable and controlled header there from Jordan Gabriel. Just made sure that that ball went straight back to his goalkeeper without any surprises, and that's exactly what happened. And so we can see the Blackpool fans in good voice now. Be enjoying the fact that they can potentially pick up a point against the league leaders and indeed frustrate their local rivals as well. With, say, a third goal at the Amex as well, just dipping into the Premier League. It looks like Brighton have gone 3 up against West Ham. So problems there for David Moyes, his side. So they looked good against Nottingham Forest last week, but that partly is down to the fact that Nottingham Forest was so abject in that game. And perhaps, say, Brighton really looking very impressive under Roberto De Zerbi. Back to Bloomfield Road here. Here come Burnley down the left-hand side. It's a ball played into the box. Oh, it's right off the line! How did that not go in? Very close indeed. It was Obafemi down the left-hand side, breaking into the box, and I think it was Thorniley that got the clearance. In a ball played in towards Nathan Tella. He's under pressure, leaves the ball now for Connor Roberts. Roberts trying to work away into the box. It's only partially cleared Burnley still with a half chance at the edge of the area. It's played in towards Nathan Tella, drops a shoulder, but he can't get the shot away. And it's Blackpool now back into possession. Kenny Dougal up towards the halfway line. Yates tries to flick that ball out wide, and he almost gets through to Carey. Does get through to Carey. Blackpool can carry on this attack. Carey now finding Jerry Yates at the edge of the area. He's trying to get a shot away. Oh, he can't quite get the shot away himself. Tries to tee it up for a teammate. It drops to Connolly, who can't get a shot away either. And then he just crashes into Ashley Barnes. Holds on to Ashley Barnes just to try and slow him down. And yeah, he's no mug there, Callum Connolly. He knew exactly what he was doing. He miskicked the ball and couldn't get the shots away. So then he deliberately sort of grabbed Ashley Barnes to make sure that the free kick after he'd clipped one of the Burnley players couldn't be taken quickly, because it was a rare occasion where Blackpool had actually got forward. Now they're replaying that moment where it was Obafemi who found the ball for Goodmanson. Goodmanson played the ball across the 6-yard box, and Thorniley actually, I mean, it's brilliant from Thorniley, because the goalkeeper Maxwell gets a hand to it. He deflects the ball into the side of Jordan Thorniley. It's going into the back of the net. It's going to be an own goal, but then Thorniley somehow manages to just acrobatically volley that ball away off the line and maintain this 0-0 scoreline. Here come Burnley again, though, now with Ashley Barnes. He leaves the ball here now. It's played over towards Obafemi here from Goodmanson. The edge of the area, that's a heavy touch, very heavy touch indeed there from Tella, but Burnley winning back almost immediately, and it's Jordan Bayo pushing forward down the left hand side this time, out for a throw which Goodmanson takes quickly. There has been an equaliser add to the Emirates, by the way. Arsenal 2, Bournemouth 2. It was Thomas Partey that made it 2-1, and now Ben White has made it to 2-2 in that game. So Bournemouth looking for a famous win to the Emirates. They were 2 up, but now find themselves 2-2 in that game. That drops them back into the relegation zone in the live table, with Leeds just creeping out of it on goal difference. Here come Burnley now in possession here with Vitinho, who's playing in a bit more of a central role now. You see that he's not quite on that in that left back role every time. Here is Josh Cullen over towards the right-hand side. Collins chases one all the way to the line. He lifts it towards the back post, headed up in the air by Gabriel. It's still lurking at the edge of the box. Vitinho heads it towards Obafemi. Back to Vitinho again. Spreading the play over towards the left-hand edge of the box, but that's good work from Thompson to head that ball away. Tella still able to recycle this ball, though, for Burnley, keeping it alive. And now Connor Roberts didn't get a man-on shout there. Sonny Carey was able to dispossess him. A long ball now played down the left here for Yates to chase. But Ekdal should get there first. No, he doesn't. It's Yates that gets there first. Now he needs some support, because he's completely isolated in that... he's right by the corner flag there, Yates. He did well initially to get the ball away from Ekdal, but then he just couldn't do it all on his own. There were 4 Burnley players tracking back in the meantime. And now the goalkeeper Muric clearing it up towards the halfway line, headed on by Goodmanson. Barnes will chase that one, but Thorniley gets there first. Plays it back to Chris Maxwell. On clearance up towards the halfway line. And, well, same again. It's going to be Burnley back in possession, trying to find a way to get forward here. It's with Ashley Barnes. Plays a high ball out towards the right-hand side. That's a poor touch from Nathan Tella. I haven't said that too many times, or in fact any time this afternoon. He's had a very good game on that right-hand side, Nathan Tella. But on that occasion, wasn't able to keep the ball in play. Blackpool are getting ready to make their first change of the afternoon, and it looks like it's going to be Morgan Rogers who's going to be coming on here for Josh Bowler. Seems like, well, I was going to say a like for like, but Morgan Rogers is a bit more of a forward-thinking player, really. 20-year-old. Came out of the West Bromwich Albion Academy from Hales Owen in the West Midlands. He's coming on now to replace Josh Bowler. Rogers now on to potentially just give Blackpool that little bit more of a lift. If they do get that little snippet of attacking possession, they've got a young, fresh, forward-thinking winger here on the on that right-hand side now to try and potentially just make it that little bit more difficult here for Burnley. He's also very quick, of course, Rogers, so he'll be able to help on that. Because he's going to go on that same side. I'm assuming he's going to go on that same side that Obafemi is on for Burnley, so it just gives an additional bit of pace on that side for Blackpool, just to try and negate how quick Obafemi can potentially be. It's now back with Ekdal. Square towards Bayer. Second goal has gone in at the New York Stadium, and it's Rotherham United 2, Queen's Park Rangers 0. Hugill with his second goal of the afternoon. Jordan Hugill scored the first goal from open play, the second goal from the penalty spot. And it's looking like a really grim time for Queen's Park Rangers. They're still a good 7 points clear of the drop, but they're now in 20th place. And when you think of where QPR were in sort of September, October time, it's incredible to think that, in fact, even November time, it's incredible to think just how badly their season has tailed off. But here come Burnley now, ball into the box, aimed at Scott Twine, is cleared away. And although chases this as much as he can, is Sonny Carey, unable to win it back. And here are Burnley now back in possession. With Jordan Bayer over towards the left-hand side. Goodmanson finding Obafemi. Borough have a fifth against Reading. I haven't seen the goal scorer yet. I wonder if it's a fourth goal for Chuba Akpom. It's not. It's actually well, it's a penalty. We know that it's a penalty, so it may well be. I can't see that Akpom has gone off in that game, so it may well be that he's going to have his fourth goal of the afternoon. But here at Bloomfield Road, Burnley trying again down the right-hand side. Roberts into Tella. Tella getting all the way to the byline. That's a good challenge, though. An excellent challenge there. Just at the edge of the area from Garber. Puts that out for a throw. And it is Connor Roberts waiting to take it. Looking for options left and right here, Connor Roberts. It was Marcus Force from the penalty spot. So... as I say, Chuba Akpom is still on the pitch, but obviously very graciously allowed the substitute to come on and score a penalty. As Middlesbrough run riot against Reading this afternoon. Nathan Tella in possession here for Burnley. Back to Connor Roberts. Vitinho now over towards Goodmanson. Back to Vitinho. Now Cullen in towards, and now as Scott Twine brought down at the edge of the area. He is by Kenny Dougal, and Kenny Dougal just lip reading and censoring what he says. He goes to the referee. That's not a foul. But Tom Bramall, our official, is of a different opinion. He obviously feels as though there was enough in that to say that it is a foul. And it is a free kick to Burnley in a decent position. Stoker restored their 4-goal lead. Their 3-goal lead away at Sunderland. I'll get it right eventually. So it is now Sunderland 1, Stoke City 4, and it's Dwight Gale with the goal there for Stoke City. So big win that for Alex Neil, returning to the Stadium of Light today. And this is a big moment in this game. It's a really good opportunity here for Burnley from this free kick. They can get this one on target. That will certainly test the goalkeeper. Looks like Scott Twine is the one looking to try and measure this one up. Looking to try and get a shot away on target if he can. It looks like he's the one who's measured out this spot, although Goodmanson is there as well. But it looks like Scott Twine. It is Twine. Oh, it's a really good save there from Maxwell, and it's away for a corner kick. It was heading just under the bar. It was a very good effort from Scott Twine, but a decent amount of curl on it. In fact, it gets a deflection, which in many ways it changes the direction of the shot, but it also actually straightens the ball out and puts it that little bit closer to the goalkeeper. But make no mistake, he had to get a strong hand to that one, the goalkeeper. The corner kick's been taken short, and it's Twine's ever from the edge of the area. It's charged down, and then Blackpool are able to go on the counter. There are 5 Blackpool players streaming forward here if they can get a pass out, but he's holding that ball for too long. There is Jordan Gabriel. He's brought down by Nathan Tella, and that's a nailed on yellow card there for Nathan Tella. Callum Connolly's had a bit of a go at Nathan Tella. About 5 Blackpool players surrounding him now. I think Connolly's point is, if you're going to do a professional foul to stop a counter-attack, just grab the guy by the shoulders. There's no need to slide in. And I agree to some extent. About a few seconds before the foul was committed, Nathan Tella knew he wasn't going to win the ball. He was only going to try and bring the man down. And I think the complaint was that Tella could have done that without necessarily trying to clip the heels as much as he did. But there's some changes being readied here for Blackpool. Perhaps Mick McCarthy can sense that his side are just starting to change the running of this game a little bit. Although it's not by much. We're going to see the first change. Jerry Yates is going to be replaced by Gary Medine. So it's I was going to say a like-for-like swap. They're not exactly like-for-like in terms of how they play. Yates is a bit more of a pacey forward. Medine's more of a strong target man. Club Captain Medine on the field now. And we'll wait to see what the other change is going to be. It looks like it's going to be a change in midfield with Luke Garbutt going off here for Blackpool. And it's CJ Hamilton on to replace him. That is the third change that Blackpool have made this afternoon. And it's just in time for this free kick that Blackpool have. It's about 45 yards out. It's a long way out from goal. But if Dougal can get the right ball into the penalty area, and he can certainly try and test this Burnley defence. He aims it at the left-hand edge of the box. It drops, and there's an attempted strike. C.J. Hamilton's been on the field a few seconds. I mean, if he'd have volleyed that one from the edge of the box into the top corner, it would have been the most amazing substitution Mick McCarthy's ever made. But in actual fact, it was a very wayward effort from Hamilton in the end. And that is away for a goal kick. 81 minutes gone. Unofficial independent off-tube studio commentary here at Bloomfield Road. It is still goalless between Blackpool and Burnley. Burnley with 11 shots in the game. The home side, Blackpool, with just 4. Blackpool have not had a shot on target. Burnley have had 4 efforts on target. And Blackpool on the attack now down the left-hand side. A ball whipped in by Hamilton, but that is too close to Muric. And Burnley straight away trying to go on the attack themselves with Tella and Roberts down the right-hand side. That duo really have worked very hard for Burnley today. It's Tella going square now to Vitinho. Just holds the ball up in midfield. Goes back in towards Cullen. Has to bounce off a couple of players there to get that ball out towards the right-hand side. Roberts' is ball in towards Nathan Tella, though, is just a little bit overhit this time. And that is away for a goal kick. So time slowly ticking down here for Burnley. The way that Vincent Kompany, you look at Burnley's form over the last few months. I mean, it's a few months. It really has been incredible to think that Burnley's last defeat was on the 21st of December, and that was against Manchester United in the League Cup. And their last league defeat was against Sheffield United, that 5-2 reverse at Bramall Lane. And that was way back in early November. They really have had an excellent time of it since we've come back from the World Cup. And here come Blackpool now, though, trying to put a dent in all of that. Although the pass over towards the right-hand side for Jordan Gabriel was under hit. Obafemi is able to get in the way of that. And Burnley now able to push out with Cullen, finding Twine. Back to Josh Cullen. Space down the right here now for Vitinho. He finds Tella. Tella's ball across the penalty area. Eludes everybody in the end. Nobody gambled to go after that one. I think it might have just been heading away a little bit too quickly there from Nathan Tella. Put that cross in, and yeah, I mean, it was always a little bit too far away from Ashley Barnes. I don't want to say that Barnes didn't gamble, because I don't think there was anything to gamble on there, especially. There was still a defender and at least 3 yards between Ashley Barnes and where that pass went. So in the end, it's harmlessly out for a goal kick. We have 7 minutes plus injury time to play here. And here come Blackpool, though, with a rare foray forward. Chance here now, as that ball is played in, it says charged down. And a second effort, it was Morgan Rogers running towards the box. His effort was deflected away, and then it dropped invitingly here for Jordan Gabriel. But unfortunately, from his point of view, that effort went a long way over the bar in the end. To be the goalkeeper Muric to restart play. It was a very astute effort in the end there from Jordan Lawrence. Jordan Lawrence Gabriel, I should say. Gabriel, as he just refers himself to. Long ball now up towards the halfway line. One back here by Gary Medine. Plays it down the left. It should stay in play here for CJ Hamilton, and it does. It's got options inside the box here. Hamilton's ball in is a low one. It's a good one. Rogers with the strike. Oh, he just runs straight into Ekdal there. Needed to just try and drop a shoulder and get away from Ekdal, really. But this is promising signs here for Blackpool. Vincent Kompany was starting to get a little bit concerned, I think, that the last few minutes more's been happening in front of Burnley's goal than in front of Blackpool's, which can't really say at any other stage in this match. In the end, it does go out for a throw to Burnley down the right. It's Roberts' throw. Headed on there by Ashley Barnes, but the loose ball drops to Curtis Nelson. Plays it forward. That ball just surprised Gary Medine a little bit. It squirms away from him, and it's back with goalkeeper Muric. Plays a risky pass into Josh Cullen, but fair play. Cullen is a very confident midfielder there, and even though he had 2 Blackpool players coming towards him, who's still able to turn away and get that ball out of trouble. And it's Jordan Bayer now for Burnley, leaving it here for Ekdal. He's just slowing down here for Burnley in midfield. They need to just try and spark a little bit of life into their possession here with just 5 minutes to go. Need to find a way to try and force the issue here as it's played back towards the edge of the area. Down the left-hand side now is Jordan Bayer. Looked up here, Bayer just decides to go square in the end. And it's down the right now, an option here for Nathan Tella. Drops the shoulder, gets inside now, heading towards the edge of the area. His pass was aimed at Ashley Barnes and indeed Goodmanson, but doesn't reach either of them. Dougal now does well to win the ball back off Nathan Tella, and Tella has got to be very careful here because he's committed a foul that is a tactical foul, I would argue, and the Blackpool players aren't letting the referee forget that. They are surrounding Tom Bramall here, and Connolly is demanding that Nathan Tella is shown a second yellow. I would say that Nathan Tella is bordering on a second yellow there. I'm not saying it's a nailed-on thing that it should be a second yellow. But it's one of those where Tella has got to be very careful. He's deliberately tried to stop a player getting away from him by holding him back. I mean, it's on the halfway line. I think he's very lucky there. I think that another referee on another day may have booked Nathan Tella there because he's pulled back at Kenny Dougal at least twice. And as I say, he's done that whilst already being on a booking. So it's a risky game there from Nathan Tella. In the meantime, Andy Lyons is on here for Blackpool. He replaces Sonny Carey. So Andy Lyons is on the field now for these last few minutes. As Mick McCarthy looks to freshen up that midfield. Trying to give his players as much opportunity as possible just to try and slow things down. So we're getting word of a goal at Molineux, and it looks like it could be a late winner for Wolves there against Spurs. Very, very hard team to predict this season have been Spurs. Very, very hard. At times they look so good, but at other times it's very toothless in terms of their chances in front of me. And interesting, just coming a quick glance at the stats in that game. Spurs have had 20 efforts on goal, only 6 have been on target. And it's Wolves that now take the lead late on. But here come Blackpool now. They're going to take the lead late on. Listen, what a jinking run. This is superb work here. Breaking into the boxes, Rogers. He had his run stopped. He wasn't fouled, though, although a couple of Blackpool players had their arms up asking for a potential penalty. Now Burnley can go on the counter here with Ashley Barnes. He holds the ball up and finds Tella down the right-hand side. Tella gets away from his man and breaks towards the edge of the area. Shoots a goal. Tella, it's saved by Maxwell. Well, he pushed that ball right in front of him. He'll be very grateful there was nobody closing down there from Burnley for the rebound, because it was the shot from Tella was too far away, so nobody really would get close enough, or they would be in an offside position. But luckily, from Blackpool's point of view, one of the defenders able to get a clearance in. Because as I say, it's a one-handed save where he's pushed the ball right in front of himself there, which, as I say, it could have gone very badly if there was a Burnley player following up. But it's away for a corner kick in the end after the second effort was cleared away. And it is going to be Johan Goodmanson with a left-footed outswinger here. Looking to try and pick out a teammate. It's heading towards the back post, headed out to the box by Thorniley, kept in play here by Goodmanson. Looking to pick out a teammate, lifts that ball towards the far post, headed down. But that's headed away on this occasion by Curtis Nelson. Still kept alive here by Burnley. Another attempted cross. It's over the head of everyone this time. And it's Rogers with the header before it's cleared up towards the halfway line. To say that it has been a really good performance this from Blackpool in terms of how they've been able to actually stifle what Burnley have been doing for large periods in this game. You have to say that it really has been a good performance, and I think that Mick McCarthy would feel as though his side really have earned the point this afternoon, although let's not speak too soon. We've still got 45 seconds plus injury time to go here. Burnley in the meantime have made a midfield change. Johan Goodmanson is off and Jack Cork is on. So Cork is on now for these last few minutes. And indeed, it's a second change as well, as Scott Twine, the substitute, now getting substituted himself. Which is A bit of a no-no in football, of course, but he came on early on in the first half, and he's been replaced here by Halil Dervisoglu. So Dervisoglu is on now for these last few minutes. In fact, he's only just on for injury time. We're into injury time now, and just looking at the score lines across the Championship, not too many changes. Stoke are running riot, though, at the Stadium of Light. A 5th goal for Stoke City. Dwight Gale made it 4-1, and now Dwight Gale has made it 5-1 as well. Really has been an impressive second half performance there from Stoke City. And so just looking across, it's still 1-1 between Wigan and Birmingham. Watford is still 0-0 with Preston. Rotherham now 2-1 up against QPR. QPR have got a late goal through a penalty from Lowe, but it may be too little too late there. Millwall pulling a goal back, but they're still 3-2 down at home to Norwich. Middlesbrough are 5-0 up against Reading. Luton still 1 up against Swansea. Huddersfield are 3 down at home to Coventry, and we're into 4 minutes of injury time at the end of this game. Connor Roberts is unhappy here for the fact that free kick has been given against him. I think he'll be even more unhappy when he sees that he's going to get a booking here, I think, as well, as Rodgers was trying to get past him. And I mean, he's very close, Rodgers, to Connor Roberts there. I think that's why Roberts was unhappy. I don't think he's been booked, actually. That would be very harsh if he got a yellow card, but it has been given as a free kick for the handball. So a chance here now to whip this in. Plenty of players waiting here at the edge of the area. Blackpool trying to do what they can to break this offside line of Burnley. Dougal, they're furiously trying to position his teammates as he waits to take this free kick. That's an awful free kick from Kenny Dougal. It's honestly, he's just clipped that ball into the box, and it's catching it, and the ball just lands into the chest of goalkeeper Muric. I mean, when Muric has his warm-up before a match, he has more difficult crosses to deal with than that. It's disappointing because Blackpool have had so few. They've had, crumbs of attacking possession in this game. So the fact that they get a free kick just a few yards out from the edge of the area, and they waste it like that, but they're going to get another chance here, because that is a shocking challenge there from Egdal. Not shocking in terms of it being aggressive or violent, but just shocking in giving a free kick away. He clatters into CJ Hamilton, and now with just less than 2 minutes of injury time left, Blackpool have won themselves a free kick in a very good position, a very similar position to the one that Dougal just wasted with that ball that he whipped in. We'll see if they've learned their lesson this time, if it's going to be a better cross. It's Kenny Dougal again, standing over it, and just waits to see where his teammates will position themselves. It's Dougal's ball in, a bit better this time. It gets a header off. I think it was Jordan Bayer that got the final touch on that. He nods it out. It's going to be a corner kick. So with just less than 90 seconds of injury time to play here now, it is Blackpool that are doing all the late attacking in this game, and even if they don't score a goal, it does mean that it's very unlikely there's going to be enough time for Burnley to go up the other end and try and score a late winner themselves. It's going to be an outswinger here from the right-hand side. Plenty of activity inside that Burnley box. The ball is played, headed up in the air by Thorniley. It won't be kept inside the box, though. Doing his best here to let it go out was Curtis Nelson, and he gets that ball into Rodgers. Rodgers' ball into the box is cleared, and it's out for another throw to Blackpool. 30 seconds of injury time still to play here. Ball is taken short this time as Thompson's cross goes in. It's headed up in the air by by Cullen, and the ball now cleared. All eyes are on the referee. There's really not long to go in this game now. Vincent Kompany trying to get some instructions out alongside his coaching staff. They'll be frustrated at the way this game has gone today. Note that there was an opportunity here to really further extend their lead at the top of the table, but as the ball goes into the box, there may still be a chance here for Blackpool. It very nearly dropped to Gary Medine, but the ball in the end is back into the arms of the goalkeeper Muric, and that may well be it. The referee looks at his watch, and that is it. It's full time here at Bloomfield Road. Well, it's been an interesting game, albeit no goals scored. But the home side will be delighted they've been able to hold on to a precious 0-0 draw against a Burnley side who have been looking to really hammer just about everybody this afternoon. But it's finished here 0-0 between Blackpool and Burnley. Thank you very much for your company this afternoon. For myself, Paul Szczerbakowicz. Do join us again soon.